Melbourne. We're actually leaving Melbourne now.
We are on our way to the wine regions of Victoria.
Victoria! Goodbye to the city. Check it out.
Formula 1.
We are now in part 2 of a 3-part series where the Worth It Hungry Boys
Well, today we're thirsty boys.
taking on Oz. Today on Worth It Wine Australia edition, we're going to be trying 3 bottles of wine at 3 drastically different price points to find out which wine is the most worth it at its price.
So I did some more independent research about Australian drinking culture. I learned from our driver Sam an alternative to saying cheers. This one is a little bit more of a thinker. Up yours.
That's not a thinker, it's
a stinker.
My name is Alister Purbrick. I'm a 4th generation winemaker. We're standing in the Tahbilk Winery, which began its operations back in 1860. Today we're going to be talking about Marsanne, and in particular the 2016 vintage. We have 100 acres, which is the largest single holding in the world. We make our Marsanne differently to most in that it is stainless steel fermented. The critical factor is about excluding oxygen over every step of the process. That's the only way you'll be able to showcase the diversity of flavours that the variety has. The wine enters the bottle under gas cover, and then it just runs around, gets labelled into boxes, stacked away, ready for sale.
In the case over there, we saw a spectrum of Marsannes that are getting darker as the bottle is older. Can you tell us what is happening with those?
That's just the normal oxidative process. The more yellow, the closer it is to its best.
As admitted amateur wine tasters, what should we be looking out for?
The best way for you to develop your palates is to drink a lot of wine. So you've got a very happy future in front of yourself.
We're starting off with the 2016 Marsanne from the #1 Marsanne supplier in the world.
Pale white wines are one of the most beautiful colors in the natural world. To smell. You have to smell wine before you drink it.
I'm a seasoned wine taster.
You aren't. Look how fogged up your glass is. Seasoned my ass.
Whatever.
Honestly, Halloween candy. It's like Starburst and Snickers. Tell me what you smell.
I'm like taking a nap at the beach, right? Guys coming by with the cart of fruit, the pineapple, and the oranges, and the citrus fruits. You want a drink?
Ooh. When I pick up a wine that's this color, I'm expecting a sharpness. This is extremely smooth.
Words that come to mind: sweet, oddly very complex, complexly sweet.
There's something fun about tasting wine where it's made. I mean, we're in this cool old building.
It's almost like you're tasting
history,
the environment.
Oh, sure. I'm gonna get you a new glass.
We were encouraged to actually try the Marsanne, what it was like in 2010.
In 2010, there were grapes that were crushed that turned into this.
I was just a baby.
How old are you?
Alrighty, time travel, 2010, here we go.
Smell it. Jesus, have you learned nothing? Whoa. That is a drastically different smell.
This is mature. That's nice. It's muskier.
You know what this makes me think of? If you're a kid, you put a rubber band in your mouth. If you reduced all of the acridness and just had that pure taste,
you're spot on with that rubber band.
It's like a little pine coney. I bet a rubber tree smells and tastes exactly like this wine in a delicious way.
I know that sounds crazy. It sounds crazy to you, Adam? Come here. How was it?
Was I wrong? Thank you. Mellow, fruity delight of a wine.
And dare I say, truffly.
It's not truffly.
Slightly truffly. Wine fact! Grapes native to Australia are not suitable for wine.
Really?
The wine industry in Australia actually comes from immigrants from Europe. Those people then exported it back to Europe. Transcontinental trade at its finest.
Wow, that is an interesting wine fact.
Wait, do you want to hear more about that fact? There's more.
Not really.
There's more.
My name's Ian Firth. I'm the chief storyteller here at Fowles Wine.
What does that mean exactly?
It means that I have absolutely no qualifications whatsoever, that I am not a winemaker, I'm not a viticulturalist. I just love wine and I love talking about wine. Today we're going to be trying the Ladies Who Shoot Their Lunch Shiraz.
Ladies Who Shoot Their Lunch. Is there a story behind that?
There is a story about that. Our chief winemaker is an avid hunter. He was eating these meats and trying to match the right wine to it and thought there's got to be a wine that's perfect for game food.
What specific foods did you have in mind with these?
So at the moment moment, we're matching a venison with the Shiraz with a beetroot relish. You get this wonderful burst of flavour between the two that just complement each other really well. Fowles Wine is located in the Strathbogie Ranges. This is a cool climate region. Our vineyards are at 500 metres above sea level. It's a very even ripening process, so you get really great ripe fruit, but you maintain some really lovely acid with the wine.
And that's because of the weather you have in this particular area?
Absolutely, because of that cooler climate. The fruit has time to develop these really intense flavours. We fermented in stainless steel to start off with. We retain half of that batch in stainless steel to keep that primary fruit character. 25% of the batch goes into very traditional oak barrels, so you do get a lot of new oak flavour coming in. The last 25% we put into 140-year-old English casks. Those three components are then blended back together to create the final wine.
That's some impressive chemistry happening there.
Should we try some?
I can only start this taste test by just laughing.
Why? Because it's the most romantic setting possible. 2 glasses of wine, a baguette. Let's just take a moment and appreciate this. All right.
To the boys who drink their lunch. That's delightful.
That's gorgeous. A little speechless right now by just the wine, the countryside. There's a baby over there hanging out with us.
What sort of mouth movement should I do when tasting a wine for the first time? Yeah.
Suck air in over the top of your tongue, which aerates the wine.
Let's taste our wine for real this time. That's like a whole other wine.
Okay, I got exactly what that tastes like now. It's fruity, it dances on your tongue. It actually makes you thirstier the more you drink. Up yours. This is a dangerous wine.
Wine is often regarded as a pretentious beverage. He knows what I'm talking about. Something that's enjoyed in lounges, but this is in fact the proper setting for wine to be enjoyed. It's not for dark dining rooms. It's for bright, crisp vistas.
And the alcohol is definitely there. I can tell you that right now because I'm feeling great. So here we have venison.
Deer for the uninitiated, with a little beetroot chutney on top.
Cheers. Damn, that is good.
Here we go. Oh man, that's beautiful.
Oh!
I love this. It makes wine seem a little bit more rugged and connected to the earth in a way that I've never appreciated before.
This countryside is a wonderland.
I kind of have a crush on this lady. The boys who drink their lunch.
Wine fact, Australia actually exports more wine to the UK than France does.
Really?
Yeah.
Australians seem like they would share anything with anybody. They made a bunch of wine.
That's true.
Come have it. The French, on the other hand, seem like, oh, I just keep it in my cellar. No one drinks it forever.
Hey look, some cows. Sheep! Hold up.
Steven loves sheep.
Oh, not enough space on my phone.
Womp womp.
My name's Nick. I'm a winemaker at All Sense Estate and one of the owners, along with my 2 sisters. Today we're tasting the Museum Muscadel and Museum Muscat, which are both fortified wines that on average are 100 years old. Fortified wine is a wine that's fortified by spirit, in our case neutral grape spirit.
So you're adding a stronger alcohol to a wine that's not done becoming a wine.
Correct. The grapes, they're on the vine right into autumn, where the sugar accumulation is super high. Before the yeast gobble up all the sugar and turn into alcohol, we pump in 96% grape spirit, which stops the yeast in their tracks, increases the alcohol to about 18% and fortifies the wine. So the wines we're tasting today are a blend of different years, but on average it's 100 years old.
You're actually inheriting somebody who had the foresight to barrel up the wine and let it sit for 100 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you presently creating wine that 100 years in the future then also turn into this wine?
That's right.
Kind of a weird thing to think about, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a wine that no one will drink whilst I'm alive.
How do you arrive at the combination of wines that go into this to form the blend?
So there might be 30 or 40 wines lined up. We smell and taste through the wines and choose the final blend. It's such an amazing, complex style of wine. One sip goes a long way.
So how much is this wine?
About $1,000 is a lot of money, I know. My sisters and I actually asked our accountant if he could work out what the wine costs us to make. He came back with a figure of $20,000 a bottle.
Really?
What?
By adding up all the time it's taken to look after the wine. And my sisters and I said we can't charge that, but $1,000 should cover our costs of our time.
Imagine a $20,000 new car that you could have for $1,000.
Yeah. We're going to now try two $1,000 wines.
This one is the All Saints Museum Muscadel. Muscadel's more aromatic and tastes a bit lighter.
I've never experienced that much wine by just sniffing.
At first, it reminded me of when I discovered my mother's vanilla extract, and I was like, this will be delicious.
Let me set the scene. You're in Harry Potter's world.
Okay.
And you walk into a chocolate candy shop.
Yeah.
And there's just all these ridiculously amazing candy on the wall.
This would for sure be Dumbledore's preferred drink.
Cheers. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's extremely tasty.
I don't want to sound pretentious or like it was the deepest, richest, grapey raisin flavor. Just
So raisiny.
filling.
It's like you had the most delicious banquet dinner. The moment after your last bite and you're reminded of all of the flavors you just had, it's all of those in an instant.
And it has the touch of a lover.
I kind of get what you mean.
Yes.
Yes.
This one is the All Saints Museum Muscat. It's richer and more concentrated and perceived to be sweeter.
Whoa.
This is a step up from the previous one.
This is deep.
Look how steamy you made your glass with the smelling. You're a monster. Oh yeah.
That one was more fragrant. This one's more intense.
It's like this labyrinth of flavors. That is why it would be Dumbledore's favorite drink. You know when he pulls the memories out of his mind? This is like that time warp where you can just sample an infinite number of memories.
It's kicking the top of the roof of my mouth, but I don't have taste buds up there. How's that possible? I'm having a hard time coming up with the words to describe how powerful and beautiful this is.
I think that's important though. If it was easier to explain, it wouldn't be as worth it.
Somebody was preparing this wine before I was alive, before my mom was alive.
But they didn't know that it would make this. And that is the crazy part. I'm still not sure I know totally what it tastes like, but it tastes like a lot, and I'm liking it.
Which wine was the most worth it at its price for you?
The Marsanne at Tahbilk was unlike any other white wine I've ever had. Fowles, the ladies who shoot their lunch. That was my worth it winner.
Of course, that lady on the bottle got you.
Did she snipe my heart? Perhaps. It was just the most delicious. And I really like the label. And to be honest, that's how I pick most of my wine. Who's your winner?
They were just all so good. I think I'm gonna go with All Saints wine.
Really?
Yes, I can't believe it. I'm not a fancy boy, I promise. That wine was born more than 100 years ago. You can taste the history. That does it for Worth It Wine All's Edition.
What's your favorite wine? I win.
This is only part 2 of the 3-part Oz series, so we got something special coming up. Maybe you'll see the background of this shot, actually. Rhymes with rake. Because we're raking in the cows.
Rhymes with cake. It's not cake though.
Oh, yes!